I have a RLS mirror here. I have made an RLS mirror video before, but it's important to see different ways of playing an RLS mirror, because obviously you can't just do the same set strat. In my other RLS mirror video, we trained the shaman a lot, and in this one we barely train the shaman. The training the shaman strat, although it does work against high-rated teams, against other good teams, it's harder to pull off against high-rated teams because their shaman and just their team in general is going to be a lot better. So they're going to protect their shaman more, and their shaman's going to have better positioning. And usually what it means, if you're able to train the shaman, is you're usually just you're in like the more dominant position, and it's harder to dominate a good team if you're a good team too, because they're going to be a harder matchup for you. But there are times in those high-rated matches with two high-rated RLSs where you have a perfect window to get onto the shaman, and from then on out, right when you get on the shaman, you're in the driver's seat and you have a lot of momentum, and you can train the shaman like that and stay ahead for a long time. But we didn't have a really good opportunity for that in this match, so you'll be able to see a different sort of a different perspective in RLS Mirror from this match. So yeah, just to reiterate the matchup, generally when you can get a swap to the shaman, if it's a clean swap, that is the best option usually, because it puts you the furthest ahead. It makes them blow their cooldowns the most. It makes them use the most of their cooldowns, and it gets you closer to a kill. Even if you don't kill the shaman, if you get him low, then they're gonna be having to blow cooldowns to survive, and then you can just swap off the shaman to somebody else who's been rotting to dots and get a kill easier on somebody else. But the thing is, it's not as simple as, oh look, the shaman's out in the open, he's in shadow step range or close to shadow step range, I can shadow step to him, redirect kidney, or shadow step dance cheap shot and burst him. You can't just swap to the shaman when it's convenient for you as the rogue. You have to make sure your warlock is able to get dots on him. If your warlock doesn't have soul swap, it might not be a good swap to the shaman. But even if he doesn't have soul swap, he may be able to get dots on. For example, if the rogue was feared or something and counterspells down, he may be able to manually cast a UA and get his other dots up there, and it could still be a good swap. But also your warlock could be, cheap shotted or gouged or counterspelled or corroded or blinded right when you want to swap to the shaman. So you have to have really good synergy and communication with your partner to make successful swaps to the shaman. Otherwise, it's risky to swap to the shaman, because if you swap to the shaman, you're leaving both the DPS open. So you're just inviting them to have to just gain the upper hand on you, because if you have a failed swap to the shaman, then you basically kite yourself as the melee, as the rogue, and you're not going to be able to stop damage, and one of your teammates is going to be vulnerable, and it may even allow them to swap to your shaman. So also, another thing about swapping to the shaman is if you're having a hard time with a team swapping onto your shaman, you can try just training the warlock extremely hard and gouging him like almost on cooldown, and just focusing on kicking him and garroting him and whatnot. And if you just lock down the lock as much as possible, they're not going to be able to make a really good swap to the shaman usually, because the warlock needs to dot. So in some high-rated matches where both teams just try to protect their shaman and you just train each other's locks, it's really hard to swap to shamans in an RLS mirror like that, where you're both just training the warlock really hard. And in that situation, it could be risky to swap to the shaman, because then your warlock can just get low and they can just get the momentum in the warlock training war. But of course, as time goes on, some fears are going to start to stick on the rogue, some howls and some fake cast fears when kicks down and landing a hard cast fear. They're going to stick, and that's when you can try to swap to the shaman. But the way this match went, we actually went on the rogue quite a bit, and that's because we weren't able to swap to the shaman that much. He had good positioning, and my warlock wasn't able to get dots on him very much. he was out in the open. The shaman was out in the open at the start, so I did try to start on him, but my warlock got cheap shotted. So as soon as I saw that my warlock wouldn't be able to get dots on him, from there it just became sort of a control opener. I was just kind of pressuring the shaman a little bit, trying to make him a little bit scared, trying to force him to sit back so that they can't get a really strong opener, because if the shaman pushes up and you don't punish them for it, they can start being really aggressive and lock down your lock so much more with shocks on lock casts, and your lock will just be so shut down. So at that point, when the rogue opens on my lock, I control the shaman and the warlock a little bit to prevent them from having a strong opener, since we're not going to have a strong opener. So it's just basically trading it. And at that point, their warlock hasn't gotten any dots out, and my warlock gets out of stuns and starts dotting up the rogue, because that's the only thing he can dot. So then we swap to the rogue, and from there on out we get a good amount of momentum and control by doing that, so we just kind of continue it along the way. So I'm going to play the match for you first with Skype, just so you can listen to the communication and see it in real time, and then I will get into the analysis of it, and with the match fresh in your mind from watching it, it should be you should be able to gain some more insight that way.
This is a team like raping.
Yeah, I know. They're not bad though. I'm in combat.
Yeah, I got it. He's dotting up your pet.
Shaman has no
Can you
earth
just spell it?
Dude, Shaman, go on Shaman right here.
I got cheap shot. I can't.
I'm gouging
cheap
lock.
shot.
I'm hexing.
I'm blinding lock actually, blinding lock, okay?
Nice.
Can you get dots on
Can you pull up
Shaman?
on rogue here? I'm trying. I have a soul shot to him, but he's out of line. I'm just hopping across the map.
I'm blind.
He's fine.
I'm going rogue, I'm going rogue, okay? Right here,
I'm howling.
first.
Go. Can you bomb?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to snap it.
Trinketed.
I coiled him, dude.
Nice.
Trying to shock shaman. Fuck, you grounded it.
Yeah, she locked that.
Shaman?
Cheap shot.
Grounding fear.
I banished lock that. You can go lock that. You can hit lock.
I'm
Lock
kidding,
me.
can you short?
I can't get next lock.
I'm gonna burst lock in a second here.
I pulled dots back on rogue. Did rogue cloak there?
No. I'm on lock. I'll go rogue. Next dance, I'll go rogue.
Leave my totems up. I see your
He just me full. He landed it.
Lock ported. I'm just coming onto rogue for now.
Okay.
He still has close.
Setting up my pet.
The evasion, that's good.
You're grounded soul swap. I'm kidney. You're grounded soul swap.
I ported. Not letting it fear me.
Totally fine. I'm on lock for
Can you
now.
lock here?
I'm feared.
I'm feared.
I don't have
Shrinking
shaman.
this, I'm shrinking this.
I'm triggeting.
Rogue is slowed.
I'm
Dance, hey, dance.
Come around.
I'm coming. I got it.
Listen.
Okay.
Dance palm soon on rogue.
Okay, my one trigger got grounded.
Right here, okay? Right here.
Pull dots, go.
You should be okay here. I'm trying to get away from you. I'm getting your tongues. I'm death coiled. I'm gonna get feared. Trembling it.
Lock. I might get CS.
Can you
I can't get the dots on him. Trying to pick a CS. I fake shear.
Dispelled you A.
I'm gonna go for a fear on them here.
He's just dotting me.
I feared all.
Nice. Dot up Shaman.
Shaman chambered. I'm trying. CS. He missed the CS actually.
So dispelled your tongues.
Shot Shaman.
Getting everything off you. You're fine.
Don't let rogue re-stealth.
I'm feared. I'm hollow
I'm trying. He got it actually. I'm gonna close Shaman out of that.
Alright, do it. Tricks you.
Nice. I'm walking next lock cast.
I do it. I grounded it. He's swapped us to me, doing soul dots.
Yeah, he's dead. I can't lock him, man.
I cloaked, I'm totally fine.
Okay, good.
Green rogue here. I might get cheered or something.
There's shock fear.
That's good. Take CS.
I have blind up. Is anyone off DR?
I'm not sure. Yeah, lock. You can blind lock.
Okay, blinding lock right here.
Nice. I'm getting full dots on Shaman. I have a demon soul. Soul swap to Shaman whenever you want it.
Right here, I'm on.
Okay, doing it now. Just full soul swap.
I'm gonna hex her.
As soon as you stun him, I can fear everything.
I'm trying spamming it right here. Oh man, rogue got my dance.
I can get next off. Entry times. I'm gonna get next off, so.
I'm careful.
Trying to get it.
Take CS, and I'm corroded at the same time.
I'm going locked for now.
I'm gonna get kidneyed.
Yeah.
Both unlocked. Dashing his pad. Stroke doesn't use kicks, so. His block's fast Spanish, by the way. I got
Can you Shaman? Get CC off
nice.
that.
Yeah, I got a CS out of that. He dispelled my dots, so.
I also have a hex. I'm trying to get your foil. Fuck.
Tricksing you. Versus lock right here.
I have a hex for
Big
Shaman.
damage,
Gouged.
big
I
damage
can't hex.
unlocked.
Just randomly gouged. He swapped us to me.
I fix CS.
Okay.
Rogue is
Rogue's just chasing me. Both unlocked.
Rogue's just randomly on me.
Got you in.
Fuck.
Banishing block pad here. Block's good, man.
Rogue
Block's
is so
really, I'm
slow.
fearful.
Look at this rogue. Don't let him reset.
What's on rogue?
I'll on rogue for now.
I'm gonna shaman cast maybe.
I'm gonna burst this rogue really hard soon.
Okay.
Right here, dancing.
He's just in the ground. Right.
Huge damage on him.
Casting him. Block shaman full, dude. You have a kidney?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck, you got the cloak off.
Dark Fear. I'm gonna hex Shaman. Shaman's hex ball.
Rogue is
I'm gonna coil him here.
nothing.
He's still getting raped,
Feared
man.
and feared.
I'm gonna get it. I'm getting like everything except here. I got everything except here.
I can restart.
Doing lock pad in the road. They're all feared, you can get the
Go
rape
lock,
for
go
sure.
lock, go lock.
Okay. I fix yes, and I'm full kidney. I'm just trinketing now that I'm
Half
porting.
fear,
Fear.
half fear.
Fuck.
Rogue is
Get that
slowed,
out.
rogue is slowed. Can you dot up Shaman right here? He's out in the open.
Yep. Bullets on shaman right now. Hold off, just hold off.
Kidneying him.
Grounding Fear.
I'm
maybe.
kidneying, he's dancing on me. Bomb. I have
Got a bomb.
I'm coming out. I'm coming out.
Fine, I'm fine. I'm on Shaman still, on Shaman still.
Me too. My pet's banished, so I can't lock anything here.
I'm blinding lock,
Fix
blinding lock.
yes.
Trying to dispel it.
Okay, as soon as you have a stun for shaman, I can hell everything.
If you
Not
fears,
for a
I
little
Shaman.
bit, not for a little bit.
Okay, I'm saving it then.
Okay.
I have a haunt on him and
I'm
shit.
kidneying
Lots of
him.
damage. Fearing rogue out, fearing
I
rogue.
have dance for
sure.
Shaman. You still have your fear?
Nice.
I can get next on.
Okay, one
Anytime
second.
you wanna
Right
go.
here, right here, right
I'm
here,
corroded,
right
I'm
here.
I'm gonna get
Fuck,
feared.
fuck.
I'm gonna get feared short.
I'm
short.
in trouble actually. I feared them all.
Just kill the Shaman. I'm blinded, half blind.
I ported.
Running hard.
I ported the soul swap and shit.
Okay,
I lock
perfect.
banish.
Okay, we're okay here.
I have demon armor up here. I'm taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, you're fine. We're just trying to like do something. I don't know. He redirected me. I'm kidding.
I feared him. It's cool. Lots of damage on rogue, dude.
Alright,
Rogue's like low as fuck.
I'm on rogue right here.
Fix yes again, man. Don't
Okay,
get
just
both
play
feared. I might get feared here. No, you may.
Okay.
Nice, you cheated. Banishing lock pad here.
Coiled,
I can go lock out of that.
Okay.
You go lock right here. You can go
You're
lock
gonna be
right
right
here.
here.
Lock's the best. I got next shaman too. Lock shaman
Yeah, I
full.
got a big heal
Oh my
for you.
god, lock is the best thing you've ever seen.
I just can't right now. Like, I have nothing to
I'm
get
gouged. Yeah, I'm trying to get that on road. I'm gouged. So.
Yeah, we can kill this rogue right here.
Running soul
He's sold out. He's sold out.
Smoke is great. I mean,
Kidding, big damage.
Okay.
Bombing.
my charmer's back up.
Coiling out of that. Coiling.
Hexing Shaman as he comes in. Shaman's hexed. Shock Fear.
Feared all. Nice. That was good.
Alright, so here's the start. Just trying to get into some position to initiate the fight, wait and see what happens. Shaman pushes up, gets in line of sight, so I cheap shot him, but my Warlock gets cheap shotted, so then I go for a gouge on the Warlock right there, but he gets out of range. So now I redirect Kidney to the Warlock right here as I'm pressuring the Shaman a little bit. Here's the redirect Kidney. I realize we're not going to be able to do anything to the Shaman, and then I swap to the Rogue and dance a bomb on him because he's dotted up, and that gets his trinket already, and he's still low. We get a coil right on his trinket, so that was really good by my Warlock, and then they're forced to go on me, and I wasn't even really dotted up, so that swap doesn't do much to me right there. So now I vanish and swap to the Warlock because the Rogue's on stun DR, and yeah, there's just not much more pressure going on the Rogue, so it's better to try to stop damage from the Warlock. And we get a port on the Warlock, so then I go straight back to the Rogue, keep him slowed to peel him off my Warlock, and he evasions right away because he's scared, and right when he kidneys I dismantle him. My Warlock unfortunately ports at the same time. He probably could have waited until the dismantle was off, but things both happen at the same time. He sees he's getting pressured, I see he's getting pressured, we both react to it, so it's kind of unavoidable. I'm keeping the Rogue slowed here while I was kind of on the Warlock too. And now I Shadow Step before prepping, just because I'm prepping to bomb, and Shadow Step again to kidney shot. Actually, that first Shadow Step was a waste actually, because it's kind of weird to say that though, because if you have Shadow Step and you prep because you need a bomb, and you don't use the Shadow Step and you just prep, you're wasting the Shadow Step. But the fact that I needed to Shadow Step to land the kidney anyway. After Shadow Stepping, prep is on a GCD and kidney's on a GCD, so if I prep and then kidney, I'm giving him a second to kind of turn and stuff, and he might dodge the kidney at that point. So I need the Shadow Step and the kidney to go off like at the same time to ensure that it's going to land the kidney. So even though I shadow stepped and then I prepped, I still had to shadow step again because there was that delay with the prep GCD. So it wasn't even worth it to use that first shadow step. It just kind of delayed my kidney shot further, and it just delayed the burst. So in that situation, it's worth it to just waste that shadow step and prep anyway if you need to bomb. And you could technically shadow step, kidney shot, prep bomb, but that delays your bomb and it gives him time to put, you know, Riptide and swap the Earth Shield if it wasn't on him, and it might make your burst less effective, your swap less effective. But of course, any other situations where it's not so time sensitive, if you're gonna prep, then you always want to use whatever cooldowns, you know, you have up before prepping if you have time. So if you have a shadow step, even if you're using it kind of for no reason, just use it before you prep. But right there where time is so important, it's not worth the split second that it takes the shadow step if you're just gonna have to shadow step again right after it to land the kidney shot. So that's just kind of a habit thing that it was just, yeah, I just did it kind of subconsciously, and I hadn't played for a few weeks before this. So but yeah, if I went back then I wouldn't have done that. It wasn't that big of a deal in this situation, but just to let you guys know, yeah. So after this stun, I think the rogue is just kind of panicked or something, or he shadow steps to me right here. I might have dodged a dismantle or something, but I jump out just to be cautious in case I don't want to get stunned behind the pillar. And now here I don't want the rogue to re-stealth, so I try to sprint in to slow him. I don't get the slow off, but right here I get a focus shiv on the rogue, then I shadow step to the shaman, swap to the shaman with the... I get a stun right here. I wait for him to wrap around the pillar a little bit so my warlock can come around from the other side and get dots on him. And now I just want you to pay attention to my movements here. I slow the rogue, I fan the rogue, it's re-stealth, and then I jump away from him right there, and I slowed him again. It forces his shadow step, keeping him slowed with focus shivs as I'm DPSing the shaman. Now I evasion and I'm kind of facing the rogue, but right here I have to turn, give him my back for a second because the shaman's getting away, and then he bombs. So now I'm jumping towards the shaman but keeping my face to the rogue so I can dodge him as much as possible. Tried to kick the shaman there, but because I was doing so much I missed it, and then I land a gouge, and we're just got some good pressure on the shaman here. And look at this rogue, he's just being kited so much because I'm keeping him slowed as much as possible. I'm gonna be slowing him again right here, I believe. Yes, he's slowed again. And now I'm just trying to waddle away from him. I get a shadow step to the shaman around the corner a little bit here. And that shadow step, even though the shaman was kind of close, he was going to be getting away around the corner, and it puts distance between me and the rogue, so it lets me keep training the shaman. Now I'm kidneyed, but it's kind of a desperation kidney just to try to peel me, and my warlock gets a howl, so nothing comes of it. Rogue trinkets there, and we're able to just keep training the shaman here because they're not able to put out a lot of pressure since they're just playing defensive mostly. So now I got peeled off the shaman, he got topped off because of that howl, so I just go on the warlock to try to stop damage and put out damage as much as possible, and I redirect kidney the shaman for CC, hoping my warlock can follow it up with something. I get feared again though, and now just trying to keep this pressure going on the warlock a little bit while just controlling. And I slow the rogue right there, and he shadow steps, and look at how much that slow helped. Look at the rogue right there, he's just getting kited so hard, and I go and slow him again. So this rogue is just getting screwed over by slows, and I think I land. Okay, slow him again right here sprinting, and he didn't shiv me, so he's just getting screwed, and I'm just kind of going in and out trying to force him to stun me at a time that he doesn't want to. And unfortunately, between my cheap shot and my kidney shot, I get to cloak off. But then my warlock coils him at the end of the cloak, I think. But I get feared off, so... It was a pretty good exchange, though, in our favor, even though we get peeled off and we don't get a kill, even though I use Shadow Dance. And right there, the warlock trinketed at the end of a fear, and now I had some combo points, so I was able to kidney him, get feared again. Now I'm on fear DR. and I slow the rogue again as I'm running by him. So now he's screwed and he just has to waddle to the closest target. He's forced to shadow step to me, and he bombed, kind of a desperation bomb again. They don't do that much pressure, so I'm able to just stay on the shaman even though they bombed on me. So I ask my warlock if anyone is off fear DR, and he says that the warlock is, so I full blind him there while we're training the shaman, which is really good, and that forces the link to help heal the shaman and to break the warlock out of blind. And yeah, I'm just sitting on the shaman as much as I can, shadow step to stick on him and to put distance between me and the rogue, so if the rogue tries to peel me, I'm kind of further away. He half blinds me, that's good for us. Blind's not that great because it's half. And right here, yes, shaman has the NS, and now I want you to see this positioning and movement. I see that the rogue right here is coming for me. I don't want to get stunned out of line of sight of my shaman, so I run away from the rogue out into the open. So now I pull the rogue out into the open a little bit, and then shadow stepped, redirect kidney him while he's low health, so we're able to burst him. So I kind of baited him out into the open there, and he gets really low. And then the rogue goes down in a bomb here because they're out of cooldowns.